Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast, season 3, episode 9. Kind of a filler, kind of fun, a lot of suspense.
It's so different from the Kyle's birthday we've gotten in the past 2 seasons. So this is,
Well, I wish everyone got drunk, but we got Amanda's birthday, which was fun.
yeah, that's true. That's true. We did just have a blowout birthday party that maybe we
So
just needed a simple little thing.
it's fine. But before we get into the episode, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have It's About the Pasta, Vanderpump Rules podcast, and we have One Season Wonders, the show where Meredith and I watch a show that only has one season and we talk about it. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. None of you have done that since the last time we recorded.
Oh,
I know, it was sad. Follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta and join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get access to our pre-shows where Meredith and I talk about whatever we want, get to know us a little better, what we're watching, what we're doing, our thoughts on what did we even talk about today? I don't even
man,
remember.
the web we weave today were shows we're watching, witches
Oh,
eating babies.
food, tons of
Oh
food.
yeah, we did talk about food.
Yeah, so just what we like, food and TV. And we could talk about sleeping next time because then we'll have all three.
Oh, perfect. Well, we can just sleep on our own.
There we go. We'll let you guys know how our REM cycle was.
Oh, mine was effed up today,
I
remember?
know we should talk about it. Also, you get access to any episodes we record early, including this one. God, I don't even know when you're gonna get this, but Jesus Christ, it's a long time from today's day. That's
Yeah,
it.
just
For
don't
all
do
you
that
know.
again.
Oh my God, I'm gonna be a year older by the time you listen to this because my birthday is coming up. But still, I won't be 27 anymore. I will be 28 when you're listening to this. But I'm 27 recording it. How crazy.
Time
Okay.
travel's crazy.
Oh my God, I love. Okay, so then for $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, you get access to our after shows that we do when we go back and we watch old seasons so that we can still talk about Bravo news, but it be spoiler free for all of you. Cool. And then we'll also say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Chris, Danae, Dustin, Jackie, Casey, Kimberly, Cameron, Tiffany, Tonette, Tracy, Gina, Jennifer, Kirsten, Kelsey D, Kelsey M, and Mariah.
Woohoo! We
Thank
need
you
some people
guys
at
so
the late
much.
end of the alphabet. We need like a Z name.
I mean, we have T's.
That's true.
That's as close as it gets. We have a lot of K's.
That's that.
K, 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 K. Nope, that's bad.
Yeah,
Sorry. That's
don't.
keeping up with the
I was gonna say it's like the Kardashians entered the chat.
um okay, and then for $5 a month you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, when we do live shows, which I mean in your time they're all probably over, but in our time they're about to start, we will ask for your opinions, your comments, your questions, your concerns. It could be about the episode, could be about the show, could be about Bravo, could not be about Bravo. And we'll talk about it on the podcast. So you'll get a
Literally
fun little
anything.
shout out and we'll tell everyone your opinions. And maybe you'll find someone that agrees with you. Maybe we'll agree with you. Maybe we won't. You never know.
The
And then also,
possibilities are endless.
it's endless, truly. But then also, we will pick a patron of the episode. So this week's patron of the episode is Cameron, aka Shrimp Warrior. Our favorite.
Woohoo!
I love shrimp. I'm gonna cook some for dinner.
Oh, yum. Now I
I
want
I
some.
know that's what her name means, but Shrimp Warrior. I love that. I wish when I went down instead of saying Cameron, I said Shrimp Warrior.
I
No.
wish my name translated to something cool.
Have you ever looked at your name in a different language?
No, I really don't think it goes to many languages though.
Your name's very white. I don't think that
Yeah.
there is. Mine also doesn't, but I can at least when people ask me how to pronounce my name, I can say like Alicia Keys. So I at least have that like
Ooh.
flex.
Meredith Grey.
So then I think like one day I'm gonna meet no, because no one has issues pronouncing your name in America.
Weirdly, people have issues spelling it.
That's fine. But in class, when your teacher was reading down the list, they ever stop at your name and just kind of sweat a
No,
little and you wait.
no. And I never had anybody with the same name as me. So I hated it growing up, but I like it better now.
I didn't either, but it's Alicia, everyone. Like Alicia Keys. None of this Alicia shit. Leave it at the door. Actually, Alicia, if you're Spanish, you can call me that. But if you're white, don't call me that. Privilege.
Alicia's boundaries. Section closed.
For brown people only. Okay, so I think that's it. I think we did the Patreon. We can get into the episode now.
Let's do it.
So I wrote previously on Vanderpump Rules. This is previously on Summer House, but I watched the right episode. So
that's good. That's good. Alicia said episode 10, so we had to restart.
Yeah, but it is right. I wasn't confused. So okay, so previously on Summer House. We had Christmas in July. We found out Carl hasn't had sex in 3 months. And also he like got laid off. So he's looking for a job, but he's also like trying to win Paige over.
That's funny. He didn't get laid. He got laid off.
Rough. Carl hasn't been committed to winning Paige over, and she's like super over it. Hannah and Danielle are hooking up with their hot Brits. Amanda and Kyle are in love, and Kyle even got a ring. And then Lindsay recently was telling Aunt Rhonda that she heard this rumor that 4 months ago, which would have been April, which would have been way after Kyle admitted the first time he cheated, supposedly he cheated again. He's hooking up with some girl, making out, I should say.
Not good. Not good.
Do you think making out is cheating, Meredith?
Yes.
There are some people that don't in the world, but I am.
Who?
I don't know. It was very ironic. A BuzzFeed quiz today popped up and it said, are these 41 things cheating? And I went through them and I was like, yeah.
I mean, I guess everybody gets to set their own definitions of what they want their relationship to look like, but
it should be communicated to your partner, though.
Yes, my boundary is that is cheating.
Can I ask, do you think like sitting on someone's lap is cheating?
Not particularly, no, but it depends what the connection is. Like, are you emotionally cheating with that person? And if
one
so,
of
then
the options was
you're definitely crossing a line, I think, but it's not really.
One of the options was it's not cheating, but it doesn't look good.
It's definitely inappropriate.
Okay, so I'll send you the quiz.
I can't wait.
So it's Friday, 6:15. We make it to the Hamptons. Jordan, so we find out the cars, Jordan, Paige, Hannah, Lindsay, and Carl. And as they're getting out of the car, you hear Jordan say, like, Lindsay, what's going on? And she's like, nothing. And that's supposed to set us up for like, she's so stressed about
this we get rumor. A lot of like weird cuts of her face this episode. And just
I loved it.
You can tell awesome. The producers and the editors
it doesn't
are doing
match
the most. No.
It truly doesn't match up, but awesome. So they walk into the house. Paige is still upset because she told Carl what she needed to do to be courted, and he didn't do any of those things. So she's over it. So then tonight for dinner, Carl's gonna grill up some chicken. Amanda's gonna cook some veggies. Lindsay excuses herself to her room because she's just so stressed about this cheating rumor and she can't bring it up. And Kyle's not here.
Listen, this is stressful, but I just love how dramatic they're making it. Like, I'm sure every person went to their room at some point during this saga, but they only show Lindsay going and spending time alone.
Lindsay. And it's also like, so Lindsay's like, oh, I'm so stressed out about this rumor. And then you cut to Amanda being like, me and Kyle are in such a good place right now.
I know. She's like, I'm so excited about his birthday. I love him so much.
Yeah.
And Lindsay's
he's like, making grandma drink Loverboy, but he's amazing. Okay, yeah, so his 36th birthday is tomorrow. I think we kept calling him 34, which was wrong. He's apparently 35. Let's just say by the time Carl hits his
but tomorrow he turns 36, right?
Yeah, but we've been calling him 34.
At least we're just 1 year behind. I know he's greater than 33.
That's fine. So Carl's trying to flirt with Paige a little bit. She's not having it. There's obviously tension, whatever. Then someone goes, where's Danielle? And it cuts to Danielle trying to make a train, which like, girl, get off the phone.
I was thinking the same thing. Why are you on the phone trying to run? I've been this person and I've missed a train, but like I was not on the phone. I was running my little heart out.
Get off the phone. Also, if you're going to be on the phone, put the phone in the pocket, put the headphones in and sprint your ass. Well, it's like in your hand.
Just take the phone call when you get on the train.
Girl, your whole right hand is busy with the phone.
Especially when you're trying to put down your suitcase little handle.
Also, if I'm on the phone with someone, they go, "Oh, I'm trying to make the train," I'd be like, "Call me later."
Yeah, I would hang up for them.
So whatever. So now it's 8:30. We're gonna go out. Lindsay has like a fanny pack of a beer belly stomach, which is super weird but dope.
I love how Carl was like, "Whoa!" For a minute there, I thought you gained weight, and I was like, "That much in that short of an amount of time? It's been 1
you
week."
just saw her in the car.
That too.
All
I
she
was
had
just
was
thinking
one piece of chicken.
I was just thinking last week.
So they get like this cute little like bench area at the. They're not at a club. They're at
They're
like a
at
bar.
Julan's. Lindsay's
Her
client.
client.
Yeah.
Julan.
Yeah.
I would never. Okay.
Never
So
do I ever clock where they are except for this one time.
No, I right over
I was
my
like,
head.
Julan, because they went to his place earlier in the summer.
There was nothing there for me. Okay, Amanda has a cute red lip because Kyle doesn't like a red lip. So when she's not with him, she puts it on.
Love that.
Which like so cute. She looks really good.
I think that's a very considerate thing because the girls talk about how boys typically hate it because
you can't kiss.
And if you do, like getting a little pink on your lips as a guy, I'm sure is like, oh, okay, whatever. But red, that's a little bit more aggressive. So I like that she's actually like kind of, if he doesn't like it, like I understand not wanting to wear it, but then go after it, girl, when he's not around.
Yeah, fuck it. So Danielle makes it. She's in her work clothes. She's got her suitcase, but she does change, thank God, because all I was looking at was that white shirt. So we talked about Max. He's really good. He's good for Danielle. Tons of chemistry.
Love that for her.
Kyle then FaceTimes Amanda. Cut to Lindsay. Stink face. Oh no. Which, like, if you look, right, and this happens the whole episode, if you actually look at how Lindsay is sitting when Kyle calls, like the group shot, she is not in the same position when they cut to stink face.
They are grabbing, the editors are literally grabbing every dull face she has from the entire episode.
To sneeze, they grab it and they're like, that's the face.
She's mad. Look at that.
Okay, so then we find out Amanda and Paige are doing a manhunt. We want to see who can get the most numbers because, you know, Amanda says she's got game. Let's see if Amanda's got any game.
Incredible.
I would just like to say before we get into it, Amanda does have game, but it's a very funny game and I will explain later.
Yes, I feel like this really isn't fair when we get, we'll talk about it. But I love that Kyle's like, wait, I love that. That's so fun. I'm like,
get those numbers, girl.
I really do believe that they are in a good place. It really sucks that then this drama has to overshadow it.
I also really like when couples are secure. Like I had two friends who had been dating since they were like 12 and they went to college together and they would compete to see who at the bar could get more drinks.
I think that's free. Awesome because like, especially because Kyle's not here and it's set up as this is a competition. This isn't for me to just like, oh, I just happened to get 7 numbers and I didn't even try anything. Like that's pretty shitty. But when you're open and honest about it with your significant other and you're like, it's competition, I just want to win.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so the girls are gonna ditch the boys. They're gonna do the manhunt. Meanwhile, Carl, he's all pissed because he's been putting himself out there with Paige, and he doesn't have time to hang out with her because he's looking for a freaking job.
Been putting himself out there. I mean, he told her he liked her, but like, what have you really done, Carl?
We made out in a pantry, Meredith.
Oh, wow. Really
vulnerability. So Carl asked Lindsay to talk. So now Hannah, Amanda, and Paige have left to go on their manhunt. Carl and Lindsay go to the bar. That leaves Jordan and Danielle at this table.
Horrible.
So upset.
If this is me as Danielle, I'm pissed at all my friends.
I'm pissed. I'm going to the bathroom. But so it's super awkward. They're not really talking. But then Jordan's like, how's your move going? Which actually is a good segue. I was like,
yes. You know what? I appreciate the conversations they have at the beginning. They are really awkward, but they're trying to move it along and make it not as awkward.
Fine. So, you know, Danielle asks like, good, how are you doing? And they talk about putting their careers first with like common interests. And then Danielle's like, I still want to be your friend. Yeah. But like, she does share how she just thought he was hot and he took it to a whole nother level of like, I don't want her to meet my parents and I don't want to have sex with her. And she's like, I thought we could just have fun.
Yeah. I like how she says this. She doesn't sweep what happened under the rug to try and avoid it. She's like, listen, the reason we're not really friends is because you just like went 0 to 100
Dissed
and then
me.
shit on me. And I was not in that zone. But like, I wanted to be friends, and we can still be friends. Like, let's just
Yeah.
change courses.
So Jordan then says, you know, Danielle isn't the one and he doesn't like to have sex with people who's not the one. And I was like, that's like kind of fair, but also you're kind of a weirdo because you
Yes, but
talk
like,
about pulling a lot
that's
of
the
chicks.
thing. His constantly, his words and his actions don't align. And I think if this were the truth, I feel like this is, I believe this more than anything else he's ever said. But why couldn't he say that right after the kissing in the house incident, whenever they kissed at the bar and then he
Yeah.
wouldn't really kiss her at home?
Because
Why not say that the next morning?
I would have even respected, like, hey, I'll make out with anyone. I love to make out. That doesn't matter.
Yep.
But I save sex for people who I'm in relationships with or who
Yep.
are like very special. And we're just not at that point yet. He could have easily said that. Like, I would have been like, dope. He could have said, I've had tons of sex before and then decided to change my ways. Dope,
It can be
man.
anything, but
Get all
just
the sex.
sometimes you do have to explain yourself to people.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
Danielle was really lost, so you need to give her some context on what's happening.
exactly. So then Danielle is like, have you ever had sex before? And Jordan's like, yeah, remember my virginity story
Oh
when
my
some girl
God.
stuck her tongue in my asshole and I kicked her face?
This is what makes me believe that
That's a lie.
it's a lie, and that he really doesn't have sex often, which is not a bad thing. Like Danielle says in her interview, like, it's not a bad thing if he hasn't. But if you can only recall your virginity story as the time that you've had sex to prove that you've had sex, I don't believe you.
No, same. And I mean, like, not everyone's virginity story is like a little weird. Like, mine's a little weird, right? I like lost it in a bush.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, and then I like kicked my leg in his dick and it
Or
inserted
if
back
somebody
into him.
asked
Like,
you if
what?
you were a virgin, you want to be like, yeah, let me tell you my virginity story. You'd be like, yeah, here's the last few people I've slept with.
Yeah. Or like I just haven't had sex in a while. Who cares?
So
Like
it
just
kind of
own
seems like
it.
if he maybe like has had sex before, he just doesn't often, which is okay, but he makes it seem like he's a big player and he does this
Yes.
often.
So yeah, Jordan just says he like didn't want to have sex with Danielle, but he's had sex with too many people to count, which is like the
that's
douchebag in
that's what
him.
I'm saying is these comments, there's no need for it. Like
I
when
have
she
sex with
says how many people have you
500
slept with?
people, but
Too many to count.
I'm still selective somehow. It's like, no, if you have sex with that many people, you're sleeping with
And
anything,
be proud of
which
it. That
is
is something,
fine.
because the way he contextualized it is that I don't want to sleep with people just to sleep with people. I want to sleep with someone I have a connection with and it matters
Fine.
to me. So you honestly then should have a low number and you should be proud of that. I think that is
Yeah.
something that is so respectable.
I think it's nice. So yeah, Danielle's just like, whatever. If he's a virgin, just own it. So now we go to the manhunt. Paige, Amanda, Hannah, it's time for a numbers contest. Hannah immediately is like, I'm still talking to Dave, but I can still like interview guys,
I love
which
how she
is
said
so
that he's
funny.
interviewing for the role of her boyfriend and he almost
Yeah,
has it, but she can still interview other
other
people.
people. Amanda's literally here to win. And this is why it's so funny. Amanda walks up to these guys and is probably like, hi, I'm Amanda. We should hang out sometime. Can I have your number?
She is so direct and forward because she actually isn't looking for
She doesn't
someone
care.
that she can just get anyone's number.
Get it? She doesn't care if like one guy maybe really liked her. She'll ask a friend for a
My
number.
favorite was when she goes, oh, put your number in. Oh, and put his too, and we can just start a group
We'll
text.
have a group chat. I almost pissed myself because
I
I
was
was like, she doesn't give a fuck what these
Yeah,
guys look
because
like.
she has the confidence knowing that she has someone at home. Like this, not getting a number
Yes.
isn't a rejection. Whereas, like, if you and I tried to do that, it'd be like, or
Can
even
I
Hannah and Paige, you're like rejected if somebody says no.
Well, here's the other thing too, right? If I'm Paige, which I kind of am because I'm single in New York, when I'm talking to a guy, I'm actually trying to see if I want his number, right?
Yes.
And I'm gonna be like, because there's a potential there, right? Amanda doesn't have this potential, but for single Paige, there's a
Yep.
potential. This could actually maybe go somewhere. So let me
Exactly.
vet him a little bit. Yeah, I could get his number, but let me spend some time talking to him. Amanda's just like, hey man, cool shoes. Where'd you get them? Put your number in. You could text them to me. Like it's fucking nothing.
Yes. Yep. She is going the quantity over quality route, whereas Paige and Hannah need to go quality over quantity for their long-term dating.
And then Hannah cracks me up. She gets distracted with this one guy that tries to high five her, and her opening line is, "Did you just try to high five me?" And then it cuts to her going, "So why are you here?" Like that, like exactly like that.
God.
But yeah, so Amanda got 7 numbers, and Paige and Hannah just bow down, can't compete. I think Amanda had a little bit of an advantage,
100% had an advantage.
So then, let's cut over to Carl and I can't speak. Carl and Lindsay, they have a little talk. Carl needs a pep talk because he like really wants a relationship, but he's chasing a girl that's not interested. And Lindsay's literally like, "Didn't we just have this fucking conversation? Why are we having it again?"
I'm dead. I like this, Lindsay. This makes sense. Like, why are you complaining about the same things last week and you haven't changed? Either you need to pursue her and actually text her and, in a sense, give her what she wants to be pursued, or you just need to let it go and put dating on a back burner. Focus on your job is what Lindsay says.
Also, Carl, she just had to get interrogated by a committee. She doesn't want to talk about this again.
True. That is so true.
But yeah, Lindsay's basically like, find a job first and then you can find a girl. Like, and then she cuts to her interview like, Carl's so pussy whipped and he doesn't even get the pussy.
It's so weird. I cannot comprehend this version of Carl compared to the last two. He doesn't have an in-between where he can just pursue someone and like one person. He either needs to be sleeping around and constantly moving on to the next girl, or
he love.
But like where they do all the work.
Well, he admitted it a few episodes ago. He's never had to work. Like usually girls are throwing themselves at him.
So I feel like this seems like a puzzle to him. Like, oh, this is interesting because of the game. Like, oh, I need to make her like me. But he's not really willing to do any of the work in the game.
No, he just like enters the game and is like,
did I win? Carl has entered the chat and that's where it ends.
Did I win?
Yeah.
Is this it? Okay, so it's now Saturday, 12:37 a.m. We get them walking into the house and you hear Paige say, "Dating me is like biting into an oatmeal raisin cookie," and then realizing it's chocolate chip 2 hours later, and I didn't get it. Why 2 hours?
No clue what this meant. Like do you think she's boring and not fun? And then you realize like, oh, there's a little like something that I did want there.
Oh, maybe.
Like you thought she was something else and then you're like, oh wait, this is actually great.
I'm the opposite then. I'm so much fun and then you actually hear what I do and I'm just the grandma.
Mine's like you go in thinking it's a chocolate chip cookie and then you got oatmeal raisin.
Yeah.
Like while you're biting, you're like, oh, this is not what I wanted.
2 hours later, so you have to put a lot of time into this. Oh, like you're just sitting there thinking about
how
this
do you
cookie?
Realize 2 hours later?
I would have forgotten about the cookie.
Maybe I've that's it and digested it.
Is you can't forget about this cookie, so you keep thinking you're like, actually, it was a good ass cookie.
Actually, it was chocolate chip.
There we go. Mine's immediate. You're like, ooh, chocolate chip. You bite in, you're like, that's a raisin. That's smart.
Yeah, one bite and then you walk away.
So Amanda's on the phone with Kyle, Danielle and Lindsay talk, and Danielle gives Lindsay her theory on Jordan being a virgin. Great. So now it's Saturday, 2:22. Lindsay's thinking Jordan's either a virgin or a serial killer. Carl's chasing a girl that's not interested. Kyle maybe cheated on Amanda again.
Good God. This is kind of a messed up crew.
We need more men. Different men. Better men. So Saturday, 10:37. Hannah explains why single girls are scared to give their number out, because this guy texts her at 3 a.m. saying like, "Oh, it was nice meeting you. Hopefully I can see you again soon." And then also followed her on Instagram at 3 in the morning. So
that's like, a lot.
Give it a minute, guys.
Seriously, like, please do not. You can go look at my Instagram because mine is open. But please don't follow me unless we have been either talking or seen each other.
I wonder if this was high five guy. That would have been awesome.
Probably.
So now it's 1:18 p.m. Hannah's gonna go see her parents again. She loves to party, but her parents are her best friends, so she's gotta go hang out with them. And then a bunch of luxury cars show up in the driveway for Kyle's birthday.
Incredible.
Amanda's got a friend, hooked her up for free. You can drive him around
I
for a
love how
few
she
hours.
said, I got him for free.
Fair. So then Lindsay and Danielle are chilling in the bed. And Max, we find out Max is going to come tonight.
So
we talk about Jordan maybe being a virgin. We talk about Kyle being 36. That's so fun. And then Lindsay's like, now that we mentioned Kyle, I have stink face again.
Oh,
and
she's
Danielle...
like, this is difficult. And Danielle's like, what's going on?
So Lindsay tells Danielle she went to lunch with her girlfriend and she told Lindsay that Kyle cheated on Amanda in April of this year. And meanwhile, they cut to Amanda going, I'm the best girlfriend. Look what I did for Kyle.
Oh my God, again. She's like, oh my God, I just love Kyle's birthday. I'm so happy for him to come. I missed him.
So he cut back. Danielle is shook. The story is that Kyle went out in New York City, made out with a girl all night long in front of a bunch of people. How could he? Someone's spreading the rumor though, so like hopefully it's not true, but the rumor is still out there, so like maybe it could be possible. We don't know.
Okay, when I watched the Watch with the Cast last week, the initial rumor that Lindsay, I think, told AR was that Kyle made out with a girl in a club. And Amanda's reaction, like present day, I'll kind of call it, Amanda's reaction was like, Kyle doesn't even go to clubs. And so I was like, interesting. Like, I need to find more. You know me, I cannot just believe something. I need some facts to be able to anchor my belief in something. So like, I don't like how vague this rumor is thus far.
I believe Kyle cheats once, he cheats all the time.
I think he is capable of it for sure. I just need a little bit more. I'm happy to have, I literally wrote down April because that anchors it a little bit more for me. But like, tell me who else is this girl? How did we find out about this?
But here's the other thing is like, Amanda, of course, is going to say Kyle doesn't even go to clubs if she doesn't want to believe the rumor.
Oh, I also agree with that.
Also, you're going to tell me this man does not go to a club.
100% believe he does, especially when they don't live together. In April, they didn't live together. And remember, Kyle doesn't really see her on weekdays. So I believe there's opportunity for all of this to happen. I need to know more details about the girl, like Lindsay's friend who saw it.
Yes. Agreed. But I highly doubt we're going to get that. So
I want her to come out of the woodworks and tell me herself in a little interview chair.
Okay, but we all feel bad for Amanda. She's going to hear the rumor. Lindsay's like, Danielle, no one else can know this information. I got to talk to Kyle. And she's like, that's great. And then Paige and Amanda bust in. They're like, come see these cars. And they're like,
terrible timing. How awkward.
Great. So Lindsay and Danielle go look at the cars. Everyone's uncomfortable that knows the rumor.
Yep.
We find out Max is coming tonight. He's going to stay with Danielle. Everyone's getting dressed up into driving outfits. Carl then vents to Jordan about Paige and how Paige and Carl are just going to be friends because Carl's starting to look stupid and Jordan doesn't want that.
I love how Jordan compares it to the Titanic. Like
Carl's big, confident, and Paige is just a beautiful iceberg ready to
it's so true.
It
is very true because Paige is just there being herself and Carl's just running right into her and destroying his whole life without doing anything.
He's not trying to go around the iceberg. He's not trying to maybe like stop before the iceberg. He's just fucking running into it.
100%.
So Paige texted a guy that she likes that's gonna meet them out. Ooh. Justin. So her and Justin met before the summer, and Justin actually calls to see how her day is going. He plans dates for her. He's basically what she asked for.
This is just awkward knowing that like Carl's going to be at a party and a guy's going to show up. Like think about last weekend when Max showed up and Carl knew about it. Now I'm like, oh my God, Carl's going to go off the rails when a random guy shows up he didn't know about.
But he seems to be over. He's like, we're just friends.
Oh, he is not. He's trying to save face at this point. He's trying to pretend like he's not into her.
But he knows because now if he gets mad, both Lindsay and Jordan are going to be like, aren't you fucking over it?
Yeah, this is your real sign to be over it.
Okay, so we all go outside, wait for Kyle. He drives up, surprise, cut to Lindsay's stank face while Amanda and Kyle are making out.
Every single opportunity they can.
So we're gonna go on a drive in these cars, and then we're gonna roll up to this Monte Carlo party. Carl and Paige go in the same car together, which
He like hesitated for a minute.
Yeah, she's like, Carl, we can go together. And he was
Okay.
like, okay.
So the cars are Amanda and Kyle, Carl and Paige, Lindsay and Danielle, and then Jordan's alone, right? Because Hannah's not here. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so Lindsay, what am I doing? Oh, they drive around. I really think they should go on some back roads or a highway to maybe like gas it a little bit. It looks like they're on a one-way or a one-lane residential.
2-lane roads.
Yeah, one way each.
Yeah.
Just can't even pass.
I know. I bet they really drove these around for a while because they did this all the way up until they had to get ready for that party. But we just didn't get a lot.
They didn't give us a lot of timestamps this episode, so I'm not entirely sure. But whatever. So yeah, we got to get ready. Then we like cut to Hannah's grandparents' house. Hannah's sitting down with her dad. I just want to be like so clear. I would never have this conversation with my dad. I like don't.
None of it.
I can't imagine how awkward this would be with my father.
I agree.
My dad one time asked me, "So are you dating?" And I almost threw up and was like,
"Oh my God, I freaking lie to my parents when I go on dates."
I was like,
and lately they've been asking me a lot of questions about these people, and I have to make up whole stories, which I'm doing very well at.
We're very proud. So whatever. Hannah sits down with her dad. She tells her dad about British Dave, which I don't know how I would ever break to my parents that I was dating anymore.
I think my parents will know I am engaged the day of my wedding.
Yep, that's like, where I'm headed.
I'll just ask if they're free on like a Saturday in September.
So they talk about how their relationship was really tough because her dad was her dad, but also her coach, which I said I thought was pretty complicated originally. But yeah, so, and I would just like to say I thought that because my dad and I couldn't even do homework without fucking arguing, let alone if he was going to coach me.
It's hard because I would never want to take that risk. Like a real coach, like she was competitive. I understand like your kids like random soccer league and like middle school.
That. Yeah.
No, I know, but like you're not going to destroy your relationship over that. But like, I just feel like you're tempting fate. Why would you? I would always want to be the supportive person to my kids.
I love you no matter what.
Yeah.
You don't have to win.
But like to be the coach, you've got to push them. And like sometimes you probably have to anger your kid to like get the results you want out of them. I wouldn't want to be in that position.
Yeah. So Hannah also felt like her dad, obviously, as her coach, was very much like, you can beat anyone. You got this. Like, I have a lot of confidence in you. So then when Hannah lost, she felt like she was letting down her dad, not her coach.
Yep.
And Hannah felt like she was competing for her dad's love because every time she would like win, she felt like she got more love.
Yeah.
And that's affected how she deals with guys. And now she puts guys on these pedestals and like fights for their love.
That is what we call some generational trauma. The childhood trauma really coming out. I'm glad she recognizes it.
Yeah, I am too. I just think I would go to therapy and like leave my dad to think whatever the hell he wanted to think.
Yeah. I hope she is in therapy for this.
I hope so too.
But it's good to know that Dave is not like that. Like she feels like she can be herself, which is like really cool.
But her dad does say he regrets a lot of the things he said, and he's always been Hannah's biggest fan and has always been proud of her, and he will love Hannah unconditionally for the rest of his life.
That's sweet. Like you can see he does love her. It's just that dynamic she grew up with.
Really
it's hard
complicated, to break. Which like already males in general aren't like as touchy-feely and touch with their emotion. Hannah's dad seems similar to my dad, where we don't talk about our feelings very often. When my dad tells me that he loves me, I like well up and I'm like, excuse me?
I like my family's like that. We don't really talk about our emotions or like say I love you, or like we're not a hug family. Like we just all coexist right next to each other.
When I leave from like spending time at my parents to come back to New York, literally a 2.5-hour flight. I talk to my parents almost every night. He'll literally give me a big hug and be like, I'm so proud of you. I'm going to miss you. And I start crying and he's always like, can you not make it weird? And I'm like, I'm sorry. We didn't have this when I
used to leave to go back to Chicago, I'm like, why are you hugging me? This is so weird. I'm like
I'm emotional about it.
I'm not emotional, but I'm like, we don't do this. And he's like, you're leaving. And I'm like, what?
I always leave.
Yeah.
That's our generational trauma.
Seriously.
Okay, so it is 6:31. We're getting ready for the Monte Carlo party. Carl asks, "Hey Jordan, if you were a girl, would you fuck me?" And Jordan's like, "Yeah." And do guys do this?
I
It's very
I can
funny.
see guys saying that, just like man, I look so good, like you would fuck me.
I
Like
feel like it's weird unprovoked for one guy.
I
I
feel
don't
like
think it's
telling
weird.
people they would fuck you is more normal from a guy, but asking, "Hey, would you fuck me?" Unless
No,
you're
no,
going on a
no.
date, like, and you need to be hyped up.
Listen,
This just is
I
weird.
think it's cute, but I think a lot of straight cis men
Are
probably
scared.
are scared to be like, "Hey, bro, you look really good tonight."
Yes.
So then instead they have to pry for these and being like, "Hey,
Yes.
man, would you fuck me if you were a
Yes.
girl?" Not now, if you were a girl though. And then they're like, "Yeah, if I was a girl, I would fuck you, but not
Until they
now."
get to that bromance level with like a guy where like Kyle and Carl are kind of getting there where it's like, damn, you look hot, you know, like you have to be
Yeah.
really, really close with a dude and bro out. So you're super masculine to be able to
Yeah.
say those comments.
Meanwhile, girls are like, "You look so hot. What underwear are you
Yes.
wearing?" And
Well,
it's
that's
not
because
weird.
like we know we dress for ourselves and kind of each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, true.
Like I want all my girlfriends to be like, man, where'd you get that jacket? And I'm gonna be like, well, this is where.
Yeah, I want them to be like, "Your boobs look great, your hair's on fleek." And I'm like,
I'm
"Yeah, it
like,
is."
thank you. You guys are the
Girls
reason I
don't,
dress up.
straight girls don't dress for dudes.
No. I mean, I
None
don't want
of
a
it.
dude to think I'm ugly by any means, but like I couldn't care less if a guy likes my jacket.
Literally don't care. Okay. So then Kyle tells Amanda how he was really happy he spent some quality time with his parents and got their approval on Loverboy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like really worried about this company failing because he's all out of money. Because we know he dropped like 22 grand on that apartment and then another like 20 grand on a ring. Dude's
Yeah.
out of cash in his checking account. I'm scared
He
for his savings.
literally withdrawed everything.
Yeah, his ATM fee is fucking huge, that man.
Oh, good lord.
So, yeah, Kyle doesn't want to feel like he's hiding something. So he's being vulnerable with Amanda. And Amanda's like, "Are you hiding something now?"
Which
And we
like
cut. I was
he
like, "What
is
the
because he's
fuck?"
hiding the ring.
Oh, I thought the cheating scandal.
I don't think it's gotten to him that like this rumor's out there, but I guess like obviously if it is true, he does
He
know about it. But
knows.
I was thinking more so the ring because that's
That's
like really
actually great.
recent, and they were talking about being at his parents. I was like, you are lying because you're not telling everything that happened with your parents.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. But he says no, of course. And then we go to the Monte Carlo event, and Kyle's like, "Oh, usually I'm fucking sending it on my birthday, and now I'm not. So I guess I'm like an adult now. I'm sober at
That is kind of
7 p.m."
funny. That is wild. He is sober at 7 p.m.
Oh my God. It's only because they have to drive these cars, or else
I
he'd
know.
be,
Amanda told him whenever he first pulled up. Did you see that? She was like, "You can't drink anything until we go to the party."
yeah, because these cars can't be fucked up, Kyle. She got them
No,
for free from her friend.
you don't have money in your bank account to be able to repair these cars.
Or sell that ring, get that money back. But then I figured out that Kyle loves cars more than alcohol, but I think still loves alcohol more than Amanda.
I don't. That is so wild to me because he does not really talk about cars.
Yeah, we
I
had
would
that
have
whole
thought
thing.
it went alcohol Amanda or
Cars.
alcohol lover boy Amanda cars.
Well, we had that whole thing. If he's like, "Cars are my favorite thing," and I was like, "What?"
It's so
He
weird.
does have a nice car though,
Yeah, but like I just assumed that was him being
like flexing a little.
33, greater than 33 that I knew and had some money.
That's funny. Okay, so Saturday, 7 p.m. Happy birthday, Kyle. We're kind of classy now, not like the Boston Tea Party birthday. Haha, so fun. Hannah's here. She's ready for sexy British Dave.
I'm ready to.
Paige has no idea how to gamble. She's gonna learn a little bit tonight. I'm not a huge gambler. I'm more of a slots girl. You ever do slots? Lose all
Love
my money.
slots.
Lose all
And
my
the
money.
little music tone and the bright lights, they
I
get
love.
me every time.
I don't want to go to a table where I got to talk to people. I'm at slots.
I will play is it blackjack where it's 21?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll play
I don't
that
know.
because my cousin plays it, but my rule is I don't gamble with my own money.
Oh, that's great. I do slots with my money because I
Yeah,
love
no, because
slots.
I don't know when to say when that I will be like Kyle's bank account. Just I won't have a ring, an
Zero.
apartment, or a company.
It started at zero. It's gonna stay at zero. Okay, so Carl found a cheese plate. What a fun find.
That is, I mean, that is a win. We talked about food and I didn't see any food circulating. We talked about food in the pre-show. And so I really like the camaraderie we have here of, hey guys, I found a cheese plate.
Yeah, hey guys,
I found
cheese.
food.
I would have been running. I would have been like, where?
Same. I would have been like, either bring me some if I'm gambling or tell that Alicia, this is you and me at the when we really met and became friends at our company party. We saw the apps and we were like, where are all the good ones? And
Our boss or your
my
boss
boss literally hunted down a plate and made them
and
come to
brought it
us.
to us. We each had like
Yes.
3. It was
It
amazing.
was incredible. Like I feel this.
So, Hannah and Jordan talk. For some reason, we're talking about Jordan's preferences, and he really likes brunettes, but really, it's all about personality for him. And he's like, "Hey, Hannah, I almost took home a hooker last night," and I was
Well,
like,
Hannah was in the room when they were in Lindsay and Danielle were in
"Yes."
Hannah's room talking about the virginity thing. So I think Hannah's trying to pry slightly and knows that Jordan does trust him, I think, like the most. So he might be able to actually talk to her if like he actually is a virgin. So I think she's dipping her little toes into this type of conversation.
Yes, probably. So she's just like, "Tell me about your preferences," and Jordan, like, what am
Unprompted.
unprompted's the word I'm
Yep.
looking for, tells about he almost took home a hooker, and
Last
Hannah's
night.
like, "I think he's gay."
I'm so confused because his stories are always level 10, but again, we don't see anything like this. Like Kyle's personality and the way he acts at parties would align with I almost took a hooker home last night. Not saying he's going to, but like the way we've seen, we don't always get the footage out whenever they do go out, but sometimes we get the cell phone footage and you'll see people like making out or like doing crazy things. Like we're not getting any of that behavior from Jordan.
Well, my other thing is he just told Danielle, like, "Oh, I only like sleep with girls I like really love." A hooker? You're just like,
Yeah.
this bitch.
And
Not that
like,
like hooking is bad. Like, if you want to be a
no,
hooker,
but
great.
like,
But he's like, I almost took her home. Then I found
acts
out
like
she's
he
a
has these
hooker.
massively high standards for sleeping with people, but then would, yeah, sleep with a hooker.
Like, if she wasn't a hooker, he would have brought her home probably.
I
Right?
guess.
Was that what deterred? It was
Yeah, is
so
that what he
fucking
was
weird.
saying? Like when he found out that she was a sex
When I found
worker,
out
he
she's a
like
hooker,
won it.
and now I can't hook up with it. Dude, just hook up with the hooker. That it sounds like you need it.
Yeah, but then I feel like you probably have to pay for it. So I guess that probably was his
Oh,
line.
good point. Good
But
point.
still, if you are someone who says you care
Sleep with
so much about
everything.
who you sleep with,
Oh,
why
otherwise.
would you admit then this? I
I
feel like
don't
then you'd
know.
think that that's embarrassing. Remember when he said too, like he cares about what his family thinks and he's super like Christian? Like these aren't the things I'd be admitting on national television then.
I agree. Mostly because no one was like, "Hey, who was that girl you saw were with?
Yes.
I heard she was a hooker."
Yes.
He's just
Like
like, "Hey, guess what?"
Hannah's just asking about his preferences, who he like would sleep with, who he would date, and he's like, I almost hooked up with a hooker last
My
night.
other thing is like, he's like, "Oh, I have so many wild stories." And it's like, listen, dude, I got like a few wild stories, but none to be like, every time I have sex, it's a crazy fucking
Every time he
story.
goes out, he basically acts like he has these wild ass stories, but no one has seen anything. I had a friend in college who would pull this shit. Like you could tell she was lying. And I get it. Like everybody has fun stories. So like you kind of want to be part of the game of like sharing things and having wild nights. But at a certain point, if it didn't happen, like you don't have to be anything but yourself. Just because somebody else is telling you a story about how they made out with a guy at a bar does not mean you have to as well. And if you want to do that, then do it and share your story. But like, why are we making things up?
I don't know. It's weird. And then we cut to Amanda, Kyle, and Carl at the cheese board, and they're talking
Love.
about how weird Jordan is. And Amanda tells Kyle and Carl to ask him when the last time he had sex was.
Well, then Kyle goes, he's just gonna lie. Or Carl
Yeah,
said that. And he is. He will just say he almost slept
fair,
with a hooker last night.
which he will. So, um, Paige, the guy she invited, Justin, he stood her up.
I mean,
He
I'm
never
actually
texted her.
pissed for her.
I'm sad for her. This is classic dating though. If Y'all are single. This is it. This is that vibe.
She basically got ghosted.
I recently got stood up, so I feel this.
When?
It was a few months ago, but we were supposed to meet up, and the day we were supposed to meet up, I was like, "You want to meet up here?" And I just never heard back from him. Which was fine. I got a Saturday back to myself, so I'm not complaining. But okay, so then Hannah's like, "Hey, can I have the bed tonight with Dave?" So Paige is gonna sleep with Lindsay, and then
over or under Lindsay will be in that bed.
She will be in that bed. Okay, so then we get food, which I was like, yes, these burgers.
Yeah, full plates. I don't know where they got it from, but burgers, they're sitting outside with full plates.
And then Max and Dave show up, our little Brits.
Ooh.
And they're like, how old's Kyle? And they're like, everyone's like, he's 36. He's like a senior citizen.
They're like, he's so old. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh my God. Max was like, he's that old. He doesn't look that old. And everyone's like, yeah, he's fucking ancient.
This makes me feel better about where I'm at in life. Like, I will be okay. I know it's usually a double standard for guys and girls, but I'm seeing more and more women have kids later in their 30s. And I'm like, you know what? I'm cool. We are young.
We're young. We're in charge. But when I'm 36, I want someone to make a gif of this, of like, 36? Yeah, he's a senior citizen. That's what I want.
Well, let's do a senior citizen party for your 36th birthday.
Yes, we might be neighbors in Chicago by then. Okay, so Danielle's really into Max. It just works. Carl's off getting a girl's phone number. R.I.P. Paige's date. She is so sad. She's stuck at this table with all couples.
That's the
all
worst.
She has is a burger, which, like, honestly, just eat the burger, Paige. I get it. I drunk get it, because drunk me would be like this too. But eat the burger.
I feel like sitting at the table of couples points out that you're not with someone, and it's like a dagger in the heart of like, well, I am truly alone.
I think it's more of like she got stood up. She was supposed to have
That's a thing. She is pretty cocky with her dating life, and she deserves to be, but this kind of knocks her down a peg of like, yeah, listen, I may not be the hottest shit out there.
So now it's 10:45 p.m. Paige has started to kind of flirt with Carl now because there's a bunch of couples and she doesn't have one. So
this kind of hurts my soul. I'm like, Paige, like, don't do them like this.
I know. She was like, I'm gonna lower my standards, and it was so sad to watch.
Like, damn.
But I feel like they finally communicate, because Carl's like, I'm trying to get a job. That's why I did not spend as much time with you. And Paige is like, and then he says like that he's also looking for a relationship, and he feels like Paige just wants to have fun, probably because she's going on all these other dates and meeting all these other guys.
Yeah, she's definitely playing the field in a classy way.
That's fine. And then Paige says, it's about finding a solid next person to date.
Mm-hmm.
And then she shares that she was with her ex on and off for 2 years, and she doesn't want to deal with being cheated on again. So she wants to find something really solid and special. And Carl is now like, I understand you more.
Yeah.
This is great. So Paige.
Yeah, I think this explains that Paige is not here to play games, but she is taking dating seriously. So she will date a few people at the same time before she truly settles down.
Agreed. And then Paige also tells Carl, because Carl's ready to fucking propose at this point. He loves romance.
Yep.
So Paige is like, can we take it really slow? We can stay on track though. And Carl agrees. So I feel like it opened up a lot of communication for these two.
100% agree.
He doesn't have to bitch to Lindsay about it.
But again, I don't want another listen, Paige has now for 3 weeks in a row, I think it is, explained things to him. If he does not put an effort next week, I'm gonna freaking lose it.
I'm already done, I feel like.
It's like, why do we have to keep having talks about this? And why do I have to explain more and more? Either you want to put an effort with me or not.
Or not. Okay, so in the background, Amanda is booty dropping. Bop, bop. Her vag even comes out at one point. They have to blur it out, and she looks straight at the camera and goes, whoops. But then we get Kyle talking to Jordan about the last time they had sex, because Kyle hasn't had sex in a few days, it sounds like. And then the last time Jordan had sex was 2 months ago. And this is where Jordan shares he doesn't want to have sex with just anyone, but Kyle doesn't believe him. He thinks that Jordan's a virgin. And you know, Jordan doesn't understand why everyone's asking about his sex life. Here's my thing. I get the frustration of like, why do you guys care? It's my sex life. Like, if I'm a virgin, if I'm not, like, that's none of your business. At the same time, if he doesn't want to share about it, he should have just never said anything about it.
I agree. He opened up the conversation first, which is with this crazy ass story, and then people don't believe him, and his words and his actions aren't really aligning, so that's causing more questions. And if he really wanted to shut this down and be like, I don't want to talk about this, he could say that, and I think people actually would respect that.
Yeah, he could easily say, like, my sex life, I'm going through something in my sex life right now. I'm trying to figure out some stuff. Maybe he's trying to figure out his sexuality. Maybe he's trying to figure out if he wants to have sex with a bunch of girls or save it for someone special. I don't know. But he could be like, I'm trying to figure out a lot of stuff. I'm not comfortable with discussing it right now.
And he needs to stop discussing it then too. Yes. Like, he has to walk that walk.
That's the other thing, is if you had one crazy virginity story, fucking fine, tell that story. But don't go around then to be like, oh, I'm such a player. I'm number one on Hinge.
I made out with 3 people in one night. I was hooked up with a hooker.
Like, don't, even if those things happen, like, if you're not going to share all your sex life, don't share weird parts.
Because people who drop comments like that typically then want people to ask about it and ask them questions. Like, trust me, I do that shit all the time because not to that level. I'm not making out with 3 people in one night. But like, when I drop like a spicy little comment, it's because I want people to ask about me. I want people to talk about me.
Last night was so crazy.
Yep. And people are like, oh my God, what happened?
I would love to meet someone and be like, yeah, I was asleep by 9. And then that's like the end. And you're like, fuck me.
Wild. What happened? I got 8 hours again.
Okay. So Amanda basically yells at Paige and Carl to make up their mind if they're going to fuck or not. Great. I love drunk
Push
Amanda.
This along.
So we have champagne. There's a girl in the pool.
Oh, Lord.
It's Kyle's birthday. And then Danielle and Paige are talking. And Paige is like, oh my God, aren't Amanda and Kyle so cute? And Danielle's like,
listen.
What's wrong, Danielle? I don't know if I can tell you. So she tells Paige about the rumor in a very dramatic sense. Paige is pissed. Paige is like, what the fuck? And Danielle's like, don't say anything.
You can't tell anyone. I hate when people do this. Don't tell me then.
Don't tell me. B, like, Paige has a good point because she's like, do you think that Lindsay's gonna be mad that you told me?
Absolutely, and she'll be mad.
Danielle's like, never. And I'm like, I'm sorry, have you met Lindsay?
Danielle's like, no, I'm gonna go tell
her. And I literally went, you're an idiot. Lindsay literally gets mad over nothing.
Exactly.
Someone
Lindsay was mad about the book, what's it called? The committee.
The committee. So, my God, all you have to do is go, Everett. And she's gonna fucking kill you.
She's gonna be like, never end.
So then Danielle pulls Lindsay aside and she's like, hey, I gotta tell you something. I told Paige. And Lindsay's like, fuck you.
And Danielle's like, oh, what?
Lindsay, come back. And she's like, I don't want to talk to you. Yeah. And then Amanda, of course, is like, Lindsay, what's wrong? And she's like, nothing, I'll be right back. Oh, I'm so mad.
Like, of course she's going to be mad. Honestly, the reason Lindsay's going to be mad is because, like,
she told you not to say anything.
Yes. And, like, this isn't the time for it to come out. So I think Lindsay's trying to, like, buy herself some time to tell Kyle in a better moment. But the more people who know, the more at risk it's going to come out. And then also it makes her look bad, Lindsay look bad, because it's now making its way around a group rather than Lindsay going directly to the person.
Yeah, I get the frustration, right? Like, Kyle wasn't around. Like, Lindsay,
and really you don't want to ruin the evening.
You don't want to ruin the evening when he does get back. It's like his birthday. So you're like, I don't want to say anything. So you're not, but you also don't want to like have this burden alone. You're like dying, and you think Danielle is like your best friend. So you're like,
Danielle's the one who screwed up here in my opinion.
I'll tell Danielle. Danielle then pulls Amanda's best friend and is like, guess what the
that's
fuck
the thing.
happened?
You
Also,
told really the wrong person.
This was unprompted. You could have just said, yeah, they're happy. Or like, sure.
Exactly. Because like I do not blame Lindsay for needing to tell someone. I do this with everything. But what I do is I tell someone unrelated to the group. So I would go find like a family friend who doesn't know Kyle and Amanda, and I'd be like, da-da-da-da-da. I just needed to tell someone, because then these two groups will not intersect. You don't go to the best friend of the girl who maybe was cheated on.
You know who you call? You call Neverett in this situation, because Neverett's not on camera. He's not coming to Kyle's birthday. He already fucked up once by telling Lindsay. So then Lindsay tells Neverett, and
there
it's like
we go.
fucking fine. No, Danielle, because now Lindsay's pissed at you. Like Lindsay's specific best
Lindsay's
friend.
pissed at you. Now you put Paige in a bad situation where she has to hold on to this information and be an asshole to her friend.
Yeah, and listen, if you're my best friend, I'm gonna tell you fucking shit. Okay.
Same.
You're not allowed to say anything until I say you could say something.
I agree. And
I'm a little pissed at Danielle.
This is clearly serious information, and Danielle knows the ins and outs of the timing of this, that like we can't tell them, we can't say anything right now because of Kyle's birthday. We want to do it at home, or like Danielle can easily read this situation. She's in it.
It's ridiculous. It's literally Paige being like, wow, look how happy they are. And Danielle's like, let me crush that.
Let me actually tell you why you're wrong.
Okay, so next time, Hannah gets the bedroom with British Dave. So Paige goes to Carl's bed.
Ooh.
Carl gets a surprise. We don't know what. He just looks surprised. Hannah's in a devil costume. Jordan asks if she's horny. Get it? Paige and Lindsay are freaking out over this fucking drama.
Yikes.
Lindsay talks to Kyle. Kyle says he doesn't believe in monogamy, which I'm like, is this fucking real?
Well, it's like obvious that Lindsay confronts him with a thing, and then he says that. I'm like, shit, did this happen?
And then he like has to go tell Amanda.
Oh, he looks so sad. I'm so sad.
Like he has to, which makes me think that it is true, right?
Like the way he's looking, his body language, she immediately knows something's up. I'm stressed for next episode. I'm gonna get stress vibes.
If I'm confronted with this rumor and it's not true, I would straight up be like, that's not true. I would pull my boyfriend over. I'd be like, there's some rumor going around. It's not true. I have no way to prove it's not true, but it's not true.
Or if I do have a way to prove it, like, here's the evidence behind it.
I wouldn't be like, let me sit down with you, Amanda, and breathe and just like.
And he doesn't even like pull her out of the pool. Like they're sitting with everyone. Wait. Whether that's true or not, like don't get some space.
In the preview, it's Amanda going, does anyone know what Lindsay's talking to Kyle about?
And Paige is like,
face is just like, well.
And then she asks Kyle if he's okay, and he goes, I love you. And she goes, that wasn't my question.
Isn't my question.
I'm like, dun, dun,
it's like we're watching a soap opera. I love this. Okay. So now it's time for fun, not fun.
Meredith, I have fun.
Give me who is the most fun this episode.
I'm picking Amanda. I mean, such a great girlfriend, planning such a fun thing. Apparently, we didn't know this, that Kyle was so freaking into cars, but like got him everything he'd wanted. And guess what? This is a great tactic to not get him too hammered on his birthday. So look she's controlling his drinking levels by getting him a nice car that he can't drink and drive with.
That's good. And she won the numbers contest.
Yes, she's a badass, and she's having fun. She's like dancing with her man. Little coochie pops out, but no worries, we can blur that on national television.
Honestly, I feel sad picking Amanda too.
Especially after talking about that preview.
But that's just when you know this might be the last time. Fuck it, just pick Amanda.
She's happy, and you know what? Like Kyle's happy around her. Like every person who interacts with her this episode is happy, and that's how I know she's fun.
You know what got me was the coochie. That was fucking hilarious. She's drunk. Kyle's not drunk. That's awesome. She pulled off this great birthday party. Mm-hmm. She's so happy. You're right. Controlled the drinking, won the numbers contest, got to wear her red lip. Ooh. It was a good episode for Amanda. And I have a feeling the next one it's going to be like,
the mighty have fallen.
The next one's going to be a bad episode for Amanda. So Okay, do you have a not fun?
I do. This one's hard though because there isn't too much, but I have to pick Danielle.
Yeah, it was
Her
bad.
going against Lindsay and telling Paige, especially if she told Hannah, I think it would have been a lot better. But picking Paige to tell this secret to, like you said, unprompted, not good. And then thinking that Lindsay's not going to be mad. Come on. How do you not know this girl?
Yes, agreed. So I'm gonna pick someone. I don't disagree with them. I think they handled the episode right. I just don't think they had as much fun as they could have had.
Okay.
I'm picking Lindsay. I think the
Oh.
secret really like is eating her alive.
Yeah.
And I get why she had to tell Danielle, but it is going to come back to her. If this gets around, it's going to be like, I heard it from Lindsay, and she's going to have to bear the brunt, which makes me really nervous. And I feel like she couldn't enjoy anything because she's like being eaten alive by this stupid thing. And honestly, I understand you need the Bravo cameras there, but
like
I would
FaceTime him and have both Bravo cameras there.
I would have been like, I need to meet you for coffee right now. Like, Lindsay, get it off your chest, girl. And then I get it. I get why she's mad, but
it's like as time goes on, the balloon gets bigger and it's gonna pop before she can release it.
And I think she's mad at Danielle, rightfully so, but she's not very good at hiding her anger. So Amanda's obviously like, what's wrong? And she's like, nothing. I'm just fucking screaming.
Yes.
Girl, you're scaring the hell out of me. Just don't do it. You're scaring me. I'm just nervous for Lindsay.
Like, when is the bomb gonna drop?
As someone who loves to share secrets with one other person, I have made this mistake before where it will come back on Lindsay, and it makes me really nervous for her.
That's stressful for sure.
Okay, this was very fun. Fun episode. We did it. Do all the things. Please rate, review, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, join our Patreon. We're so fun, we promise. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
No. Thanks for joining per usual.
Bye-bye.